Hi everybody, this is Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. Today I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you, and we're going to be using the Watercolor Wings stamp set along with the butterfly Thinlit dies that coordinate with that. This is actually a card I made a few years ago with my stamping parties, and this is one of the sets that is going to be retiring, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm sad to see it go, but I wanted to use it at least one more time before it retires off and share some fun stuff with you. So I'm going to remake this card for you today. I'm going to change the colors a little bit because these are colors that have retired. I believe that was Watermelon Wonder. But we're going to make it today with some orange and yellow and black. So follow along as I show you how I put this fun project together, and we'll have some stampin' fun. Okay, so this is a card I made on our thick white cardstock. I wanted that butterfly to have some strength to it, so I've used one piece of Whisper white cardstock. So as you can see, I've got the card base, and then I used 1/4 I'm going to do for the butterfly, and then this quarter I've trimmed down and it's going to become the front panel. Okay, so one piece of cardstock. Let's go ahead and stamp our butterfly first. So the butterfly I'm going to do, so I'm going to first stamp a layer in crushed curry. So I'm using the solid stamp, okay, the solid stamp. I'm just going to stamp that down. Then, this is a fun one that positions over the top. So here's our second one. Now I'm using Tangerine Tango. So I just look through my block and position my stamp as best I can and stamp that down. Now, if you pre-ordered the Stamparatus, or if you're planning on getting one, this would be one of those sets where the Stamparatus would be very useful, because you could position your stamps before you ink them and then just do the boards to get them to all line up. So I suppose I could have done that for you here today, but I'm going to use a different tool with you here today, so I didn't want to get too many tools. Now I'm using Archival Black. Archival Black is also going to be retiring, but we'll have memento and stays on that you can use. So taking black ink, and I'm taking this one that's got kind of the monarch markings, and I'm going to stamp that over the top. Again, looking through my photopolymer to line that up as best I can and pull that off. Okay, then what I've done is I went to the Big Shot and I used my Framelit. Sometimes I use a piece of wax paper in there, and I just position that, and then I run that through the Big Shot, and we cut it. And so here's the one I've pre-cut. So I'm going to do the Big Shot on camera, but here's, and then we have a stamp for the body. See, I didn't stamp the body first, because you want to be able to position that stamp on the die cut. Okay, so I'll show you on the back side. So I just ink my body up, and then I will line it up over the top and stamp that to add it in. So that's how I did that. Okay, so there's our embellishment for the top. Okay, there's that. So now we're going to do the front of the card. Now, I think maybe you can see I've got some score lines on here just for a little added subtle texture, kind of like using our embossing folders, but this time I just used my simply scored board. So let me bring that in and show you how easy that is to do. Let's see, here's my scoreboard. Okay, so as you can see, it's going to be pretty tight up there in the corner. So I don't want to have my score lines too far into the area, because I want to be able to stamp words and have my butterfly fit. So all I'm going to do is put my thick white cardstock in here, and I'm going to start at 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to press on my scoreboard to create one line, and then I'm just going to move up the 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to do 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to recrease those because I want them kind of strong. Okay, now you have to choose if you want your score lines to be pushed down or if you're going to flip it over and have it come up. I'm going to have mine come up so that when you run your finger across it, you can feel them. So if this is going to be the front of my card, I flipped it over and this is where I want my score lines, then I'm going to flip it this way, flip it over because I'm pressing down, and then I know which long side I want to score with my scoring board here. So 1, 2, 3. So now when I flip it over, I've got that crosshatch here in the corner, but I've got just simple lines coming down the side and the bottom. So that's pretty easy, isn't it? Okay. So I know I love using texture embossing folders, but sometimes just a nice simple scored line is all you need for your project. Alright, now we're going to repeat stamping that butterfly on the face of the card, and then we're just going to layer it on. So, same steps, I'm using the crushed curry, and I can see through my stamp so I can position this on my paper, and I want it just to fit up in that corner, because I want to have as much space as possible to put my words on. Now I come in, repeat the same thing, I'm using the Tangerine Tango, and we'll do our best to look through and position our stamp. Okay, and then I'll come back in with the black and do our extra details. So 1, 2, 3, 3-step stamping there. Now this time I'm not cutting that butterfly out, so I'm going to go ahead and add the body right on my cardstock. And there's that. Alright, so now I'm just going to use some glue dots, and I kind of bend my wings a little bit on my butterfly, but I'm just going to stick some glue dots on the back of the body of my butterfly, and then that goes right over the top like a puzzle piece. And so you see, we've got a two-layered butterfly that creates some dimension there. Okay, so that's pretty simple, right? See why I love this set? It's so easy. Alright, now I'm borrowing words from the Rose Wonder set. I'm actually borrowing the Happy Birthday. I'm going to stamp that in black. And that's going to go right down here in the corner. Just like that. Nice, sharp, crisp. So now I'm just going to have to put this on the front of my card base. I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. So it looks like I'm going to use some edging of my dimensionals because my sheet is almost gone. Don't worry, I will just use that edge right up. You should use your edge too. Peely part off. Okay, so now we're just going to put this in the center of the front of our card. And there's that. Now, I'm going to add a little detail to the inside and to the envelope. We have this smaller fun butterfly, and I'm going to stamp him in the Tangerine Tango. So I'm going to put a couple on the inside, just for some fun stamping, and I'm going to put one on our envelope in the corner. Just the right size to add a little bit of detail, but still have plenty of space to write a message. So there it is, the recreated card. Now as you can see on the one I did a few years ago, I used some of our glitter gel that we had. We don't have that now, but you could use Wink of Stella on this one. We have that now, so I'll do that. Add a little Wink of Stella. Now you could do it to the whole wing, or you could just do it to the body. That's totally up to you. Moment I'm just going to add it to the body, and then you could also add, as I've added here, a rhinestone, so you could add a rhinestone to the top if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave this one blank. So there we have it, my remake of this beautiful card using Watercolor Wings and Rose Wonder, both of which are retiring. So we're getting ready to say goodbye to some of our favorites and get ready for some new favorites, but I wanted to share this one with you today. So if you enjoyed this nice and simple card, I'd love a thumbs up, some comments below, let me know you did enjoy it. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so if you want to shop for any of these things before they retire at the end of May, please do. My link is below. If you're a demonstrator, obviously you'll shop with yourself, and if you have a local demonstrator, please support your local demonstrator. But if you are in search of one or in need of one, I'd be happy to service your Stampin' Up! Shopping needs. And don't forget, all my videos this week will be on next week's newsletter, so subscribe to my Show and Tell news, and you'll get all the details in a fun printable recipe sheet, photos and details and measurements. So I guess that's it for now. I'll see you again on Friday for another Stampin' Show and Tell, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.